What does it mean to struggle? Most of us do not understand the meaning behind that word. Here I am, extending a greeting to my friend. I seem happy, as I have a pair of shorts and a sweater on. Now, imagine being pressurized and ordered to remove your shirt, which is what occurs here. Now, imagine walking around with only a pair of shorts. That is what the author discusses in this book, and what the main character, Aminata, goes through. This story is about a woman named Aminata who was abducted from her village and subjugated into slavery, which, like many others during her time who were Africans, they had to endure under that calamity of the Industrial Revolution in the world of colonies, which is what this book refers to. The Book of Negroes. During a time in which slavery was imminent, Aminata had to endure a lot. Based in the 18th century, this book captivates the struggles and determination which Aminata had to endure. Aminata challenges not only challenges and resists all of these laws of ethics and moralities related to black and African men and women, but she also ultimately changes the entire laws of the story. Aminata wasn't just walking at night wearing nothing but a pair of shorts. Aminata, at the age of 11 at the time, was abducted and subjugated into slavery and was forced to be enchained among other captives who were being held by perpetrators who were of the same skin color. They were black. Aminata is a very outgoing character, and the way her character was shaped is how she was able to travel across many different countries around the world, unwillingly, of course, due to the principles of slavery, those unfortunate events. However, it actually helped to shape her character, going from all the way from Africa to North Carolina to Nova Scotia to England on her pursuit towards liberty and freedom for the black people. She also resisted multiple times the superiority of her masters, and she ultimately incentivized the change and reform that was needed to take place to at least limit the acts of slavery instead of, if nevertheless, abolishing it altogether. Although, unfortunately, that's not what is documented in this book, but it does document Aminata's struggles, and it also, not just Aminata, many, of course, African Americans went through this. Many African Americans' ancestors went through this at some point in their lives. And one should know that, of course, many people right now in a polarized world in the United States and, of course, even in Canada, people think that white supremacy did not exist. Well, of course it did exist, because this is a prime definition of white supremacy. You have people that are Christians, and you have people that are Jews that are white-skinned, and they are against dark-skinned Muslims and dark-skinned Jews, for example, as well. And that is just something that is very, very misunderstood in our society at this time, because, of course, with Donald Trump leaving office, many people are supporters of Trump, and many people back his ideologies, his rather radical ideologies upon races and denial of racial discrimination. Of course, it has occurred, and it still continues to occur to this day, of course, to some extent. But it's important to know that one of the most powerful countries in the world, the United States as well as Canada, these countries were founded on the principles of dark moralities and in violation of the code of ethics, which are strictly enforced today, of course, throughout in Canada and as well as in the United States, but they were not enforced as well as properly that time, and many things did not comply with the laws of ethics, but they did comply with what the morality of the society at that time was. And it's very important because in this book allows a person to understand the way that his country was run and the way that his country was built. Of course, the United States and Canada were built on the foundation of colonies, and it's very important to understand what Aminata has gone through in order to help shape a better future, hopefully. So that's, and honestly, of course, relating to what I mentioned earlier, this book is not sufficient to be a 7 or 8 out of 10, not even a 9 out of 10. In fact, if I could rate this 100 out of 10 based on all of the other books I've read, I would give this 100 because this is the best book I've ever read. It truly captivated me from my soul, and it also helps you to understand every single thing which people of our country have gone through and leading to tragic events. And it's very important at this time and age, of course. So I highly recommend you to read it if you haven't, to find out how Aminata pursues liberty ultimately, and how our country has become shaped and influenced by one of Aminata's struggles and influences. Thank you very much for watching.